Are you not trying? What's your whole dating life like? Are you looking for someone?
No, there's no dating life.
Are you looking for someone?
No.
You know.
I like to think I'm open, only time will tell.
What does that even mean?
I like to think I'm open.
What does that mean?
It means that there's one thing that sometimes you may feel like you're open, and then someone can come along who has probably what you're looking for, but then you're still like, nah. And you can't actually give a specific or a good enough reason as to why you're not interested. Then, and not even a matter of vibing, like you don't even start it, let alone to even think about whether they're vibes or not. I was like, nah, you know, maybe later.
Maybe later.
Yeah, yes, no, maybe later. You never know. It's not like, you know, no, just like, oh, maybe later. So that's what he said. Oh, you can be open, but you never know until you're presented with, or you have the opportunity to have, you know, meet someone with like the key qualities or whatever you're looking for in a relationship. And if you meet that person and you're still kind of like, no, then I do think you're open. I mean, because if you're truly open, I'm not trying to say that when you jump into a relationship, it's open to explore and just kind of like seeing, right? But if you don't even let it go off, then you're not open.
So you're holding back.
In my opinion. I don't know.
It sounds like you're holding back.
Does it? Doesn't sound like it is to me.
Is that the reason why?
Is there? I don't know. I don't think so. Probably is. There's always a reason for something, isn't there? But who told you I'm not even in a relationship?
You just said you're not.
No, I didn't say so.
You did.
No, when did I say that? What did you say? Did I say I'm not in a relationship?
You did.
No.
You can say no in so many ways.
No.
Okay, are you in a relationship?
That's not the point.
Simple question, answer.
I'm going to that Nigerian thing. Why you asking? But I don't know. I don't know.
Are you scared?
No. What do you think I am?
I asked if you're scared because there could be so many reasons why you could be afraid in terms of trusting someone, for example, or being hurt in the past.
Yeah, obviously the idea of just being hurt or anything it's not to scare anyone, but you can't focus on that, right? It's just like with if you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position, you can either choose, okay, I'm not going to do this, and either not be in a relationship or have a relationship where there's a great deal of trust, but you don't allow that trust to get to 100% on both sides, i.e. you giving and even you being entrusted with. Or you can just think, you know what, that's just life. And take the leap and just see what happens, or at least you
Okay. Is there anyone that you've seen that you've liked?
That's the thing, is I don't remember last time I ever let anything even go off. For me, it's the getting to know, because I know the qualities that I want, and those qualities I can only figure out by actually getting to know someone, if that makes sense. So it's just kind of like that, because my friends are my friends. It's just kind of like, you're my friends, you know, you want to kind of like keep that as it is. And then with others, obviously you can see people and think, oh, that person's cute, but then that's it, right? Not necessarily, you know, go beyond appreciation of just what you see. Yeah.
And obviously guys approach you.
I know, obviously.
It's obvious. What do you
I don't think so, no.
Guys don't approach you.
No, they don't.
So I'm surprised.
What do you say to approach? I think I'm always tired in my house. I'm always tired in my house. Yep. If it's I used to be, I don't know if I still am, I used to be like, you have to be very literal with me. It would go over my head. Is it
really?
Like, and then after a while I tried to be like, okay, let me try to be more aware.
Yeah.
But then all that means is that you're then just overthinking or reading more into something that could maybe just be as simple, just all being kind. And then you're reading into it. So it's kind of like, you know, I like to go back to my blissful ignorance. You need to, you have to spell it out, or it will just go over my head. And I'm like, and anyway, at the end of the day, you should be confident enough in me anyways. If you're going to approach, whether flirting or however, you know, your style is, you should still be able to, even if you're going to be flirtatious and not be direct initially, you need to be confident enough that when you are direct, you can still stand your ground. Or even if it's being flirtatious and then I read it a particular way, if you know what you want, just kind of like, yeah, and if it doesn't happen, like, just. I know it's obviously easier said than done because you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position.
Yeah.
No one wants to do that, but I mean, we put ourselves, when you go to an employer basically asking for a job, that's a vulnerable position.
True.
You have these things every day, but no one wants to put themselves in that position.
Okay, let me ask you one simple question.
In your opinion.
Do you want to be in a relationship? Like, do you want to be with someone? Would you like to be?
It depends on when you ask me.
When?
Yeah.
Why when?
Sometimes I really do not.
Oh, it depends on.
Yeah. But having said that, even when I do like a one, I think because in my mind, I know, or should I say, I have a very strong idea of what I want, and I'm very aware that it's not something that is, it's something that you build, right? And I'm not saying, and I read an article actually about relationships or marriages or all of that in general, and about people coming in with unrealistic, into like a relationship with unrealistic expectations. It's like, yeah, everyone has baggage, you come in with yours, but it's almost like you expect the other person to be bigger or better than your baggage and almost kind of like balance you out. And then the whole concept of, you know, my better half, it's like, you're not half, you're a whole. And then you have another whole person, not a half, coming in, and then you then create something new. But it's not like each individual or each party was incomplete. It's just two wholes coming together to then create another whole new something. So I mean, I have a very strong idea of or a very strong picture of what I would want my relationships, you know, my relationship to look like. And like I said, it's not something that is not even built in a year, or like it's one of those things that takes time.
What is that?
I'm not telling you.
It's a simple question.
This is not a simple answer that I give.
Come on.
Okay, happy. You let that figure out whatever happy looks like in your mind. Not saying happy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all you're giving.
That's I don't know what else to say. Like happy is the best word to just kind of like.
Okay, like give me some context or describe it in terms of what you want someone to really. So all the things you've been saying for the last 10 minutes, what was the numbers?
Taking notes. I don't know how. Like that's the best thing I'd say. Happy.
Like you want to find someone that makes you happy, or
No. That's part. That's that whole thing. Someone should not be making you happy.
yeah. So that's I don't want to misunderstand you. So that's what I'm looking for. It's true now. See, I just assumed you were getting one way. You see?
Yeah, when you go into a relationship already being happy.
Okay, so
And you're not relying on an individual as your source of happiness. You just have someone the person
you want
doesn't
someone,
take away from the happiness that
or
you
you
have.
want someone that maintains
Contributes to
or
it.
increases it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just like that when you say a relationship is happy, it's just I'm not saying that, every second of
Relationship, yeah.
everything is like perfect and then we would always be happy or you wouldn't be obsessed or angry or any of those things. But I think the right word is joyous. Because I think I read somewhere happy can be fleeting. So you're happy when you see something you like or you get a slice of cake or that you're happy. But joy is just that constant state. So you can be angry and joyous.
Yes.
You can be
Yes.
So that is, I would say, more like just joy. Yeah. How about you? What do you look for in a relationship?
Surprises at the start in terms of finding a partner. I guess let me break it down by order. Ideally, for me, the person needs to have a relationship with God, because that's something I'm constantly working on myself and trying to grow. And exactly the concepts you described in terms of one whole person trying to find another whole person and then forming something new. I feel like if I'm trying to find someone out there, I can't find someone that doesn't have a relationship with God or is halfway there in terms of.
Or do you think you're all the way there?
No, let me describe what I mean by halfway there, because I knew you were going to misunderstand me. What I mean by halfway there.
Question, right? I didn't misunderstand you. That's why I asked for clarification.
What I mean by halfway there is, in your sense, right? We're all halfway there in terms of like.
Still working.
We're all work in progress. What I meant by halfway there is the person has heard about Jesus or God, but has chosen not to, or pretty much that's it. So like for me, there's no point in trying to start something new with someone who doesn't have that part of them figured out, because it's going to be a detriment to both of us. Her values will either conflict with mine or mine will conflict with hers, and in the long term I feel like it's going to be a losing battle.
Why do you feel like this is me like being devil's advocate based on 1,000,001 things I watch on YouTube? There's that whole debate over morality versus religion, and you just said that your values will, there'd be that conflict between your values and hers. And why do you think that there would be that conflict? Is it because you equate morality and religion to kind of like be the same, or does religion dictate your morality? Or
yeah, to a certain degree, I'll say religion dictates my morality. And when I say values, I'm describing certain characteristics that my religion has dictated for me in terms of pathway. So I'll give you I'll give you an example, right? my religion says don't worry, like, because you can't create, for example, you can't create the hair on your head. Like, leave the worrying to God.
Yeah.
Do your best, pray, that type of thing, right? So for me, that's like a value, that's a mindset, right? And if my wife, for example, has that same mindset as me, it makes our relationship.
If she has that mindset, not because she's a Christian.
Yes, true. She could have that mindset, but not being a Christian. But there's so much more around that. Yeah. That's just one example. Another one I gave was on tithing, and I gave this example to my ex, where let's say,
dude, if we were together for less than 6 months, and you're talking about giving 10%. You said you need to know how you introduce
no, it's
but it's important.
It's reality.
It's like
exactly.
You want to get it over with earlier, earlier, in the relationship than just speak to it.
Yeah. I give one example of, let's say we were married, and we had financial struggles, right? And we didn't have any money, and I still raised up the points like, oh, we need to give 10% tithe from the little salary I have. Let's say one person isn't working, one person does their job, the other person is still working. Like, oh yeah, we still need to give her that 10%. If I was married to someone who didn't have that whole knowledge and understanding of why we're doing that, like, what's this guy talking about? Giving 10% of, we're already struggling. Sheila can't go to school, or she has.
Oh, is that her name?
That was the person that came to her.
Jesus. What do you for using your name? What's that? Okay. So
that type of thing, right? That's what I mean by those little concepts and characteristics will just start chipping away at the foundation, or little foundation you have as simple thing like prayer, for example. Like every at least it's my belief that everyone needs to pray every day. Whether you're praying for, in terms of, when I say pray, communicating to God, whether you're praying for Thanksgiving or requests. So imagine, and this life, right, you're always going to have highs and lows. So imagine if you're going through a low and the prayer you're trying to generate from your family is always half gallon instead of full gallon. It doesn't help, and there's no belief as well. That starts possibly affecting your own mentality. It's a lot easier if everyone is on the same page. You understand? Oh, you're going to fast. We're all fasting. It's one belief. We're all strong together, type of thing. If one person is, and the important thing to know is, it's not like both of you are always going to be on the same high, right? One person could have it down. It's the job of the other person to bring the other person back. So that's why it's so important. When one person is falling back, oh, remember, you're not doing this well. So relationship with God is important. Attractiveness, the person being attractive on the inside in terms of personality. Just kind, loving, the boring stuff.
Which I don't know what the boring stuff.
Kind, loving, funny, the usual fluffy stuff that everybody likes.
Everybody likes.
I think the other part of it as well is very important for me. I like to be surprised, because as much as I can make a list of the person has to be this, or the people I've liked or been attracted to, it's always been a knuckleball. It hits me when I'm not expecting. There's something
What was
quirky.
it about your most recent ex? Sorry to interrupt. What was it about your most recent ex that was, what was that surprising factor with her? Don't say she was white, because that's not surprising.
No. have said that now.
Always been an Oreo.
I'm not even say anything to that. There wasn't. This relates back to my point about online dating. There wasn't really anything surprising with her, in the sense that we both met for a transaction. We liked our prices and we decided to go ahead. The surprising elements that I've noticed that have caught on for me is when I build relationships with people in an organic or natural way, where maybe we just are as friends, for example. And through time, conversations, interactions, body language, eye connection, I just start picking up on
Eye connection.
I don't know if I find that so funny.
I'm so sorry, that was rude.
That's not so funny.
I don't know, like, black people don't see that. Eye connection.
Wow.
No, sorry, let me rephrase.
Wow.
Nigerians don't say that. Nigerians don't say that.
Ijeoma,
I can't speak for the
you're-
other black. I can't
you're
speak
missing-
for black
you're missing
people.
out.
I
You're
know.
missing
Please,
out.
how do you people do it?
You're
Teach
missing
me.
out.
Teach me your
Are you
ways so
serious?
that I can experience this eye connection
Are you serious?
thing that you're talking about. I don't. Well, let me put that.
Yeah.
Maybe it happens. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, like, I guess Nigerians, especially, being kind of like vocal about it. Normally, it's just kind of, well, yeah, we vibed, you know, we got along, and you know, that was, but just took it from there. Never heard anyone you say
When you break it down, it's the detail.
that. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's depending on how much detail people like to go into.
Okay. I'll give an example of my connection, right? It's fairly recent.
Oh. I would say you should take me as your wingman, but I think it wouldn't work.
It would work in some circumstances, but we'll arrange that one later. So I had a drink with this person, and through the whole conversation, the drink, I'm sure, helped. But there was a moment where I can't really tell you how long it lasted, but in my mind it lasted for like 10 minutes, where like I was sitting across this person and we did not say anything to each other, right? But we were just looking at each other in our eyes and we were holding hands. And that said so much more than actually talking. I know I sound like an Oreo. I get it, right? I get it.
Explain.
Yeah, right?
But
Once you've experienced it, you understand why it's so. I was going to say why it's so important. You understand why it's important to a certain degree. Like it says so much, especially when, in terms of when you fall within that state of attraction with someone. It might not work out in the end with that person, right? But yeah, it's a high. It's a kind of high.
why are you laughing?
Your reaction is just.
What is wrong with my reaction?
Your reaction is just.
I'm intrigued because I've not had, like, I'm intrigued. Just leave it that way. Yeah, so I'm taking it in. Yes.
I'll have to think of an occasion where both of us should go out.
Yeah, like the right one.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil your markets.
Yeah. I'll think of something.
Oh my god, you were in a relationship for 3 months and you didn't tell. Well, now I know. Shame on you. You can talk to me about bread, and I know asking about what you can talk to me about bread, but you can't talk to me about your relationship. Tisk. Oh wow.
Bread is for life, though.
And your relationships not maybe that particular one, but you're still learning something to take on to the next one. So that's still for life. Well, not even the next one, just learning something.